I was just a lump of clay, sitting lonely on the ground, hardened by the sun and rain. No use could there be found. I was cracked and I was broken from the choices I had made. Just a piece of worthless earth in the bitter sun I lay, waiting for the final judgment, feeling lost and so afraid. Then the master potter came. He didn't pass me by. He saw this lump of useless clay with his understanding eye. He picked me up with gentle hands and broke me down once more. He added water from his word like never seen before, and put me on his spinning wheel and closed his workshop door. Oh, the potter's wheel is turning, spinning fast and turning slow. He's shaping and he's molding the only way that I can grow. He's pressing out the bubbles of my foolish, sinful pride with the potter's loving hands. I've got nothing left to hide. The spinning made me dizzy, the pressure made me cry. I said, Lord, why you break me down? Why you make my old self die? He said, child, the cracks you came with wouldn't hold the oil I give. I gotta make you new again so you can truly live. Just yield to my hands and learn how to forgive. Now I'm sitting in his fire, the furnace of his grace, getting stronger in his presence, in this holy burning place. I ain't perfect, but I'm finished, a vessel for his use, no longer broken on the ground, no longer making my excuse. Just a simple jar of clay filled with good and glorious news. I used to think my name was written in a book upon a shelf, just another soul he'd chosen not much different from myself. I thought maybe on a good day he might remember who I am, just a number in the flock of this great and holy Lamb, a face lost in the crowd in this universal plan. I saw my name on bills to pay and on letters of demand. I saw it on a list of failures across this weary land. My name was tied to my mistakes and all the shame I knew. It was a name I wished to change and start my life anew. A name that tasted just like dust in everything I do. But my name is not in paper, it's not written in the sand. My name is carved forever on the palm of his nail-scarred hand. It's a tattoo of redemption that nothing can erase. When he looks down at his palms, he sees my name, saved by The devil comes to whisper, I know your name and what you've done. That name is stained with failure beneath the morning sun. But I just point him to the nail prints, a story to behold. A price was paid for that old name, with more than silver or with gold. A story of a love so great, it never will grow old. So I walk with my head lifted, not because of what I am, but because my name is carried by the sacrificial lamb. He holds it in his hands through the storm and through the fire, and his grip is my salvation, my one and true desire. My name is safe with him, lifting my soul ever higher. I'm driving down this highway, this long old road of life. My hands are tied upon the wheel after years of pain and strife. I keep glancing in the rear view at the wreckage I left behind, the broken signs and busted fences messing with my mind. The smoke is still rising from the bridges that I burned in time. That mirror shows a monster, a fool I used to be. It shows the chances that I wasted for everyone to see. It shows the hearts I broke, Lord, including my own. It shows a man who reaped the sorrow from every seed he'd sown, a ghost that keeps on riding, a past I can't disown. But the windshield is bigger than the rear view, for a reason I suppose, 'cause where you're going matters more than the path you chose. So I'm thanking God for His grace, a grace I can't replace, that lets me learn from what's behind, but sets a forward pace. Then Jesus got in the passenger seat, didn't make a single sound. He just reached across the console and turn that mirror around. He said, son, you need to see this, but just to know how far you've come. That wreckage is the place where my grace has overcome. Now fix your eyes on the road ahead, your journey's just begun. So I'm driving toward the sunrise with a tear rolling down my face. The rear view's getting smaller, filled with His amazing grace. I know the past is still back there. Yeah, I know it's real and true, but the road ahead is brighter, and He's making all things new. With my eyes fixed on the windshield, He's gonna see me through. I thought this body was my house, a place I owned and built. So I decorated all the rooms with my selfishness and guilt. I let the windows get all dirty so the light could not get in. I hosted parties for my demons and let all the trouble sin. A house that looked alright outside but was falling down within. The foundation started cracking with the weight of all my shame. The roof began to leak every time it rained. The plumbing of my spirit was backed up with deceit, and I was living in the darkness on a dead and lonely street. A homeowner in foreclosure, facing alternate defeat. But this house was never my own, I was just a tenant here. The landlord of my soul is the one who cast out fear. He bought the property with his blood on a hill called Calvary, and he canceled my eviction for all eternity. He didn't just repair the house, he tore it to the ground. And on the rock of his salvation, a new foundation's found. He's building me a temple, a place for him to dwell. He washed the walls with mercy, and he broke the chains of hell. A brand new home for his glory, and the story I must tell. So I pay my rent with praises, and my lease is signed with love. I take my orders for upkeep from the landlord up above. I keep the windows open wide so his light can freely shine. 'Cause this house is not my property, his name is on the sign. And living in his building is a feeling so divine. I woke up this morning with the world upon my back. Felt like I was walking on a busted railroad track. The sun was shining bright, but my soul was cold and gray, carrying the heavy burden of my sins from yesterday. This heavy load I'm toting ain't gonna go away. I carried the stone of worry and the boulder of my shame. I carried the chains of habit and the guilt that called my name. My back was bent and broken, my knees were weak and low. I was looking for a place to rest, was nowhere to go. Just me and this heavy burden, walking this lonely road. Oh, this heavy load I'm carrying is more than I can bear. I'm crying, Lord, have mercy in this valley of despair. I'm looking for a crossroads where I can lay my burden down and trade this heavy sack of sorrows for a robe and for a crown. Then I came to a rugged hill where 3 crosses stood in the sky, and a voice said, "Son, bring your burden. You don't have to live and die." Underneath that weight of darkness, that crushing misery, my back was strong enough to carry your sins up on that tree. Just leave your heavy load right here and come and follow me. So I untie the ropes of anger, and I drop the chains of doubt, and the sunlight of His mercy came and drove the darkness out. I walked away from that old hill, and my back was straight and tall. My heavy load was gone forever. He had paid for it all. Now I'm walking in His freedom, and I'm standing after the fall. I told my father, give me my share, and I walked right out that door. Thought I was a king in the making, and I wouldn't need him anymore. I took my inheritance to a far off, sinful land, wasted every single penny with the devil's helping hand. Ended up hungry and broken in a way I hadn't planned. I was feeding pigs for a stranger, my stomach groaning with pain. I was dreaming of the bread crust that my father's servants gained. Blues came down so heavy, I was sleeping in the mud. Remembered the taste of mercy and my own true flesh and blood. So I stood up from that pigsty to face the coming flood. And on that long road home, I practiced what I'd say. Father, I have sinned against heaven, don't turn your boy away. But he saw me from a distance, and he ran to me so fast. The blues blues of his prodigal son were buried in the past. I said, Father, I'm not worthy to be called your son no more. Just make me like a hired servant, let me sleep upon the floor. But he wrapped a robe around me, put a ring upon my hand, killed a fatted calf for a party, the finest in the land. A love I couldn't understand, a grace I couldn't command. Now I'm singing the blues from the mansion, not from the dirty pig pen floor. I'm a son who once was lost, but I'm not lost anymore. So if you're out there in the darkness and you think you've gone too far, the porch light's always burning, no matter who you are. And the Father's always running to heal your every scar. I was born into the darkness, never saw the light of day. The world was just a story that I heard the people say. I could hear the children laughing, I could feel the warming sun, but I couldn't see the faces of a single loving one. Just a world of shapes and noises. My life had not begun. I sat beside the road and begged, with my hand held out for grace. A penny for the blind man with the dirt upon his face. People pass me like a shadow, a fixture by the wall. Just a blind man and his blues, waiting for the night to fall, which to me was no different from the day I'd give my all. But then I heard the healer was passing by my way, and something in my spirit knew this was my dying day, or my first day of living. So I cried out his name, and the man they called Jesus put out my darkness with his flame. He spit upon the ground and he made a little clay, and he spread it on my eyelids and told me to obey. Go wash it in the pool was all he had to say. So I stumbled through the darkness and I started to pray. and the mud ran down my face, and he washed my sins away. The first thing that I saw was the blue of the sky above, then the faces of the people, a world that was filled with love. Now I sing a different blues, not the song of the night. I sing the song of a blind man who was given back his sight. And I'll spend my days just praising the one who is the light. I was standing in the courtroom of my own guilty soul. The devil was the prosecutor, trying to take his toll. The jury was my memory of every single lie, and they all looked back at me with a cold and knowing eye. There was no place left to run and no place left to hide. The prosecutor stood and said, I've got a case that's clear as day. Here's a list of all his sins. He's got a debt he cannot pay. He's guilty of the highest treason against a holy king. And I knew that he was right. I'd done every single thing. I was waiting for the sentence that the final gavel would bring. But the judge of all creation, the one upon the throne, looked at me with eyes of mercy, a love I'd never known. He didn't sentence me to die for the crimes I had confessed. He stepped down from the bench himself and put my soul to rest. He took off his righteous robes and he looked at me and said, the price for all this sin must be paid for by the dead. But I will be the payment. I will take your guilty plea. I'll serve your sentence for you upon a cursed tree, so your guilty soul can be forever right with me. So now I'm walking free, not because of what I've done. The judge became the sacrifice. He is the only one who could stand in as my lawyer and my pardon and my bail. The judge who paid my fine with a cross and with a nail. His love's the only justice that will never ever fail. The sea of my life was raging, and a fog had settled in. I couldn't tell my north from south in this world of doubt and sin. The waves of my confusion were crashing on my soul. I was losing my direction, I was losing all control. Just a sailor in the darkness, about to pay the toll. I heard the sound of sirens calling from the rocky shore, tempting voices in the mist, promising me so much more. I started turning my little boat towards their deceiving song, not knowing that the rocks of ruin were where I'd soon belong. A ship about to be broken, where everything went wrong. But a light cut through the darkness, a steady, faithful beam, the lighthouse of the ages, the hope of all my dreams. It wasn't a flashy signal, but a constant guiding grace. Jesus is the lighthouse in this dark and foggy place. That light, it didn't calm the sea, it didn't lift the fog that night. It just gave me one true point, a single saving light. So I turned my boat away from the rocks, fixed my eyes on Him, navigating through the danger on a prayer and on a hymn, trusting in that lonely beacon on the ocean's misty rim. Now I still sail in foggy weather, and the waves still crash and roll. But I've learned to trust the lighthouse that has saved my very soul. His word is the beam that guides me, His promise is the solid ground, and in the harbor of His mercy, my safekeeping can be found. And for that light in the darkness, I will make a joyful sound. The land of my soul was a desert, cracked and dry and full of dust. My faith was just a memory, my hope was turning into rust. I'd been praying for a downpour, for a sign that God could hear, but the sky was hot and empty, year after weary year. and my spirit was so thirsty, overcome by doubt and fear. I looked into my canteen of what little strength I had, and saw there was just one drop left. The outlook was looking bad. One final drop of courage to get me through the day. One final drop of prayer that I didn't know how to say. One drop before my spirit completely wastes away. And as I lifted up that drop, a sacrifice so small, I heard a distant thunder answering my call. A single cloud appeared in the endless burning blue. It was the promise of the Father saying, I will see you through. He was waiting for my last drop to make all things new. 'Cause your last drop is where his river of mercy starts to flow. When you give him all you have left, is when his mighty power shows. Don't you curse your empty bottle, don't you curse your thirsty pain, 'cause the miracle is waiting in your last drop of rain. Then the rain came down in torrents, a flood of holy grace. It washed away the desert and put a smile upon my face. It turned my dust to fertile ground and made the flowers grow. And I learned that God's abundance is something you can't know until you give your very last drop and let your river flow.